Welcome in everybody to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I am your host, Devin, joined by my co-host, Jaden. And man, I mean, what a last week of football that we've watched, including the college football season going on. And I'm definitely going to be touching a little bit on that because that obviously involves my Raiders. But man, these playoff games, I mean, basically every single one, except this last one that we just watched. Unfortunately, there's going to be one that we don't go over in this episode. That is the Texans-Steelers game, because we are recording this on Sunday night. So this past Sunday night game, the last game of the day, was not the greatest. But I mean, every single other one has been an absolute banger. And I texted this in my group chat. I think depending on how the rest of these playoffs go, this NFL season might be one of the best, if not the best, I think I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it feels like every single week, it is just game of the year. I mean, you're talking about game-winning drives, high scoring, back and forth, quarterbacks making these unreal plays. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I'm glad to be able to witness it. And we got a lot of things to go over. 5 full playoff games, got a bunch of notes, got everything. We got coaches being fired that we're going to go over, big time injuries, whatever it may be. But you know the drill. For every single episode, we got pregame talk. What do we got today?
Yeah, so today do you think hiring a defensive-minded head coach is going to start to become like a dying breed in the NFL? Seeing how, not very successful they've been recently. Obviously, you got a couple in the playoffs, gearing up to make a big playoff push maybe for the Super Bowl. But, I mean, with a lot of the firings we've had and, recent success over the last couple of years, it seems like offensive-minded head coach is the way to go. So I want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I necessarily would fully agree on that part as far as defensive mind coaches will go away or necessarily are a dying breed. I think a lot of people obviously prioritize offense with the way the game is going. But I think what is, instead of it, offense or defense, I think the dying breed in head coach is culture setters. I think when you have a head coach that is not a play caller on either side of the ball, and their only real, goal is to be a leader of men and to be able to set a culture, I think that's the breed of coaches that are dying. Obviously you look at, obviously it's a lot different with the team behind me, the Raiders, when you bring in a coach like Pete Carroll, where that is his whole thing, is a culture builder. This team had no culture from the start. Even if we brought in a Ben Johnson, maybe we win a few more games, if that, but it still doesn't look pretty. But I think even you look at a case like John Harbaugh with the Ravens, if I'm a team out there, let's say the Titans or the Giants, these younger teams with these quarterbacks that have a lot of potential, and you're trying to make these runs and what it may be, I'm not looking their way at all. I'm not looking at those type of coaches. But let's say a Chris Shula or who's another defensive, Jesse Minter from the Chargers, one of these defensive-minded guys are willing to come over. I think I'm willing to make a play on that and have trust that they can bring in an offensive coordinator with them that believes in their young talent and can boost these quarterbacks. So I don't know if I necessarily fully agree on the defensive side dying. I think obviously you're going to see, as I mentioned, more offensive coaches be hired just because that's how the game is. If there's let's say 5 and 5, I think you'd see more of the bunch go after the offensive side than the defensive side. And then you might even see some defensive coaches that had, head coach dreams. Maybe they just end up settling for a defensive coordinator role and try again on another year. But I think instead of the defensive side dying, like I said, I would more so lean towards the culture setting type of coaches as a dying breed, in my opinion.
Well, do you think defensive minded head coaches have kind of a low ceiling? Because if I told you the last 10 Super Bowl winners, 7 of those, or actually, 8 of those have been offensive-minded head coaches. And the two that were defensive-minded were Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
2 Patriots Super Bowl winners.
That's a good point.
But 8 of the last 10 have all been offensive-minded.
That's a good
and
point.
That's just what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Like, do they have a low ceiling as of recently, I guess? Because, if you start to go a little further back, you'll have, like, the Seahawks in there with Pete Carroll, defensive-minded head coach. You got John Harbaugh in there. You got Tom Coughlin in there, all defensive-minded head coaches. So, you could kind of make the case, but, once you go past that 10-year span, but, it seems like recently it's been the offensive-minded head coaches that are getting it done.
Yeah.
On the biggest stage.
I definitely can agree with that. I think my whole point is it will always be offense over defense, especially in the league that we are in now. But it wouldn't stray me away. You know what I mean? Because a topic that we are going to get into in this past Sunday is obviously the coaches being fired. And spoiler alert if you're not tapped in with the NFL, but Pete Carroll is gone for the Raiders, and some of the coaching candidates out there are, as I mentioned, a Jesse Minter or a Chris Shula, and it's like, if the Raiders ended up with one of those, I wouldn't be so mad. I wouldn't be so upset, because you have examples like a Mike McDonald or a D'Amico Ryans, where it's like you see what type of impact a defensive-minded head coach can have on a team. But again, you have to have trust in these guys and your ownership to bring in that right offensive coordinator, because on the other side, Clint Kubiak is another guy that I would love for the Raiders, but he's also paired up with a defensive-minded head coach. So a lot of things have to work, I think. But then again, you look at the same side where it's like, if you have an offensive head coach, you need that defensive guy. You know what I mean? You look at like an Andy Reid, and then you have Spags on the side of him, Kyle Shanahan, and then you have, why is the name slipping my mind? Who's the 49ers defensive coordinator?
Robert Saleh.
Yeah, Robert Saleh right next to him. And you'll have these like I said, these offensive-minded gurus as their head coach, but they have to find that pairing on the defensive side of the ball. So I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. I think 100% I agree with you. Offensive head coaches definitely have a higher ceiling, but a lot of things have to click, because no matter how good you are offensively, you have to have that defensive coordinator next to you to be able to really bring it all together. In the same way with a defensive-minded head coach, you got to be able to find that offensive guy. So I think I agree with you. Offensive-minded coaches definitely have the higher ceiling, but it wouldn't stray me away from going towards a defensive guy. But I see where you're coming from. They definitely have a lower ceiling. And I think on average, if you were to look around the league, it's probably like a 65% offensive-minded head coach league. And I think that's just how it's really always going to be. I don't think we'll ever get to a point where it's like 75, 80%, where we have like 20 plus teams, 25 teams in the league that are offensive minded. I don't think it'll ever get that crazy, but it's always going to lean towards the offensive side. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a dying breed, or it will eventually be a dying breed. I just think it's always going to sway towards the offense. But yeah, that was a great pregame talk. And I guess before we move off that, with you asking that, do you believe it's a dying breed, or is that kind of just something that's running through your head going forward?
Kind of just something that was running through my head. Seeing the success, the success of these first year offensive-minded head coaches going crazy. But I guess you could say the same with, like, Seattle, Mike McDonald. Mm-hmm. And, D'Amico Ryans, he was a coach last year, but he's got some success. So it's not,
even
a slope.
Mike Vrabel over there with the
Vrabel
Patriots.
too, yeah. And he's had a history too, success with the Titans. But, yeah, I was just curious to see where your thoughts were on that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great question. So we'll go ahead and get into some of these firings that went over this past week, and we got some big ones. We're going to start out with Jaden's Falcons, and they cleaned house, firing their head coach, Raheem Morris, and their GM, Terry Fontenette, I believe it is. And yeah, as I mentioned, a clean sweep. They are cleaning house, going to be bringing in a new head coach and a new GM this offseason. And I'm curious, do you have anybody at the top of your list that you really want for your team? Is there like one guy above the rest, or do you have like a couple that you wouldn't mind?
Yeah, I mean, the Clint Kubiak would be probably the best one in my opinion. Offensive-minded head coach, coming from Seattle. Also, I wouldn't mind Stefanski.
Yeah.
I know we just kind of talked about, I was talking about, the defensive-minded head coach and all that. But I think he's a little bit – I think he's he would raise the floor for us. And obviously, with that, I think it's a lower ceiling with him. But, I mean, at the point where I'm at in my fandom, I just want to see my team get in the playoffs. And, with the division winner in my division, the division winner just – went to the playoffs with a negative record. I just want to make the playoffs, and I think Stefanski could probably get us there. Someone like him.
That's a good point.
But really, Mike McDonald would be interesting, but I'd say those are the two at the top of my list. Mike McDaniel, my bad.
I was gonna say he ain't gonna be available for a while, but no, yeah, I agree with you. I think Stefanski is an underrated hiring during this process, and I guess in a way that's kind of a spoiler to what we're going to get to, because obviously he got fired as well. But yeah, I think,
and also assuming he can he will be bringing Jim Schwartz with him. That'd be a big thing to look out for me. Develop that those young defensive linemen on our team a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, man, because that defense has a lot of talent. You guys went out there and definitely showed that this year. And I think the Mike McDaniel news is interesting. And I guess we'll start getting into all these firings. I guess we'll rapid pace through these just because obviously we're spoiling as we're going. The Ravens fired John Harbaugh. Raiders fired Pete Carroll. Dolphins firing Mike McDaniel. The Cardinals firing Jonathan Gannon. The Browns firing Kevin Stefanski. And yeah, that's the last one. So back to the Stefanski role, like I mentioned, I really think he is an underrated head coach in this carousel that's going around. I think he's a guy who, personally for me, like for my Raiders, I personally would not be a fan of us signing him, just because I feel like we're in a position where we shouldn't go out and try to get a head coach like that. We should try to go out a guy that, in a way, it could be a riskier move, but you've seen the past hirings that we've made where we've tried to go get these proven guys and it just hasn't worked. I would like to go get a first-time head coach type of guy. Let's go out here and steal a coordinator. Let's even steal someone maybe lower. I believe we're interviewing the Rams offensive pass coordinator and I think the Broncos quarterback coach. And it's like, those are out of the blue type of things, but it's like at the end of the day, you got to go try to make those type of swings where it's like you could find a diamond in the rough out there. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of these coordinators, that's where they come from. They're promoted from these lower positions, and they end up being these geniuses. So I think Stefanski, for my position, I wouldn't be the greatest fan of. But again, for a team like the Falcons, I think that makes a ton of sense. And yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about some of the other firings that we went through. John Harbaugh, who has been the coach for the Ravens for what seems like close to almost 20 years now, something crazy like that, is finally out. And this is a move that just simply had to happen. I mean, the Ravens just kept on coming up short and just year after year after year. And I get it. There's a lot of things that you can blame on, even on the great quarterback. My favorite player of all time, Lamar Jackson. I mean, you could definitely take a lot out on him, but I think this was just a much needed move. As I mentioned, I think culture building type of head coaches are just fading away. John Harbaugh is that type at this point in his career. and it was just time for the Ravens to make a switch. I'm not really sure who they would like to go get. I know that there's news that the Packers might fire Mike LaFleur, and then the Ravens would go pick him up. I don't know if I like that because, again, you're going from a guy that has not brought his A game in the playoffs to another guy who has not brought his A game in the playoffs. Like, I don't know. I don't really appreciate that one, but I guess we'll have to see. And then, as I mentioned, my Raiders are out on Pete Carroll. The Dolphins firing Mike McDaniel. If I had to guess, I don't think Mike McDaniel is a head coach this upcoming season. I think he goes back to being an offensive coordinator. The rumors is that he potentially is going to go to the Lions. That would be like the dream fit for him. I mean, if he's able to go over there and work with that offense, I think that team would be right back to where they were, 3 years ago now, I think it was, when they were in the NFC Championship. So that would be a dream pairing. I mean, shit, man, it would be my dream for him to come be a coordinator for the Raiders, but I think that's out of the picture. I think he wants to go to a more competitive team that has a chance at winning a Super Bowl. But if I had to guess, I don't think he's going to be a head coach, but it's definitely possible. He's a great coach, but I'm not sure if he's going to immediately get a coaching job next year. It might be a thing where he goes back to being a coordinator for a few years and then gets back on it. And for the Cardinals side, Jonathan Gannon, again, a firing that just you saw coming. I mean, they ended the season on, I believe, 9 straight losses, and yeah, it was not pretty over there. He wasn't getting things clicking with his quarterback and Kyler Murray. I get it. He was dealing with injuries, but when he was there, that whole thing was a mess, and now it looks like there's a very good chance that Kyler gets moved this offseason. I mean, there's word that he could potentially be traded to the Jets. I don't know how realistic that is, but that's one of the rumors. So, again, another guy that I don't think Jonathan Gannon is necessarily going to be back as a head coach next year or even the year after that. I think he goes back to being a coordinator, but we'll have to see on that end. And then finally, Stefanski that we touched on. I think the funny thing about that, I actually saw they had like a lip reading moment with Jackson Dart. And I want to say they were talking about the Ole Miss coach of who he thought was going to be it. And he was saying Stefanski or Harbaugh. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe Stefanski goes back to coaching college, but, I mean, that would be definitely a twist. I think he's 100% good enough to be an NFL head coach still. I mean, he's a 2-time offensive coach of the year, not offensive, but a 2-time coach of the year. He can definitely be a head coach in this league, but, I mean, maybe he wants to go back to college. Maybe he prefers that over the NFL. I mean, who knows? But that was definitely something that was funny. I mean, it was clear as day. That's what he said. And someone even quoted him, was like, now I see. They were like, I find it cringy when players do it, but now I see why a lot of players, cover their mouth when they're talking, because it's just people are going to read your lips and they're going to know what you're talking about, and you're going to potentially leak some things. So that could be a story to look out for during the offseason.
I'm looking at Stefanski's coaching history. He's never coached in college, by the way.
No, I wasn't. I mean,
I'm not saying you said he did, but I'm just saying that's interesting. Like, is that something that happens a lot? Like, he went. It seems like at the age of 24, he went straight to Minnesota Vikings as an assistant. I don't know what that means. It just says assistant, assistant for whatever. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe his place is just in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it could just be a thing. I mean, Dart could just be talking, but again, that is like when they were doing it, that is like 1,000% what he said. So I don't know. Maybe he's hearing some news. Maybe, I mean, I'm sure he's still tapped in with Ole Miss, and he's probably heard some people talk about. Maybe they requested him for an interview. Who knows if that's even legit?
Or I guess maybe the fact that he's never coached in college, maybe that might be intriguing for him to go try out.
Right. Yeah,
and I didn't want to the money's good. Why not?
I didn't want to misword it. Like I was saying, he's going. I meant to just say he's going like not down to coaching college, but he's going, I guess, in a way back to coaching college, because it's not like he's staying in the NFL. He's going to college. I guess back is the wrong word to use for that. But yeah, that's basically everything in the head coaching cycle. We're going to see a lot or not a lot. We're going to see a lot of new head coaches this offseason. It's not the greatest pool. It's not like last year's pool where you have all these first year head coaches or I guess switching head coaches where it's like you see these guys making the playoffs and having these great seasons. It's not that, level, but you still got some solid players out there that I think can really change a team. I really think they can. So it's unfortunate, especially for the year where, obviously my Raiders need a head coach, even though it's been like that for the past 3 years, and they've missed every single time. Hopefully it's different this year. And the last bit of news that I want to get to before we jump into these wildcard games that I cannot wait to get to is Kyle Shanahan confirmed to reporters that George Kittle did, in fact, tear his Achilles. A major blow to the league. We were watching this game, and it was pretty evident what happened when he went down, and then they showed that replay. So, yeah, George Kittle is, not I want to say most likely, but for sure going to miss all of next season with this injury happening so late. I mean, this is an injury that, again, could take up to a year to heal and, to happen in January. Again, it's going to essentially knock him out the entire year unless the Niners go on some crazy playoff run next year and he tries to come back for the playoffs. But then again, I'm not even sure how worth it that would be. But yeah, a terrible blow to a Niners team that has already been dealing with an unreal amount of injuries. And yeah, just prayers up to Kittle, and hopefully he can recover. A great talent, one of the best tight ends in the league, one of the best tight ends that we've seen in recent memory, going down with a very, very brutal injury. So that's pretty much everything that happened this past Sunday as far as firings and news around the league. And let's just get into it, man, because, again, a wild, wild weekend of football. We're going to go in order. We're going to start with the Saturday games. And the first game that happened, I believe this game was at 1 o'clock or 1:30. Rams versus Panthers, a game that maybe some people expected to be this good. I definitely did it. I thought the Rams would 100% come out the gate and pretty much get a clean win over the Panthers. And it looked that way. It looked that way to start. I even wrote in my notes, it's just the start of this game was almost like a varsity versus JV type of thing. I mean, it just felt like the Panthers were making a ton of mistakes and the Rams were just making everything look easy. They weren't doing nothing too crazy, but it just looked like everything was easy for them. And they took a quick, I want to say 14-0 lead, and the Panthers did nothing but fight back. Despite, all the mistakes that they were making, the turnovers that they had, they just kept on fighting. I thought Bryce Young played a really good first half of football despite the interception that he threw, which I do not believe was on him, considering I want to say it was Jalen Coker that kind of stopped on his route. I'm not sure why he did. I don't know if he was afraid of contact or thought the ball was going to somebody else, but he just completely slowed down on his route, which obviously led to the interception. But I thought the Panthers played exceptionally well in that first half despite their early mistakes. But the thing that lost them this game, and there was someone who made, I can't remember his name, he made a video on this talking about it. J.C. Horn went down with an injury, and it changed the Panthers' entire defensive game plan late in that game. And I want to see if I can even pull up the numbers real quick just to further prove my point. The Panthers were, I want to say, up by 4 maybe at this point when it happened. And they basically went into a prevent defense and was just allowing everything in front of them to go. And I didn't really get that type of mindset because the famous quote with that is running prevent defense does nothing but prevent you from winning. That's all it does. Being conservative and playing prevent has never done anything good for a team. And you just saw that in a playoff game where a team that was obviously outgunned, outmanned, and outmatched, a team that was, the Rams are 1,000% a better team than the Panthers, but the Panthers were playing a great game of football and very well could have won this game if they for some reason didn't decide to do that. I will never get that with coordinators. I will never get that. It makes no sense. What you've been doing the entire game has led you to this point to have this lead. And then you just completely change your game plan. I mean, you can check out the numbers. To start the game, Matthew Stafford was dicing him up. I think Stafford started this game like 8 for 8, I want to say. And then he went on a stretch where, let me see if I can pull up these numbers. He went on a stretch where he went, I think, 2 for 6 or 2 for 7 in the second quarter after that 8 for 8 start. Then in the third quarter, he went 2 for 10 with an interception. And in the fourth quarter, once I said, like, this defense just for some reason started playing prevent, he went 12 for 15, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone. Fourth quarter alone. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, they just handed them the game. Now, obviously, the final throw, the game-winning touchdown that Stafford threw, I mean, you can't throw a better football than that. That was great coverage, but again, that is a perfect throw. One of the best placed balls I've seen in a while. That's something that you just have to tip your cap. Not much you can do there against an all-time talent at quarterback. But that just blows my mind that this team did that. It blows my mind that in the fourth quarter they had that much of dysfunctional defense. It frustrated me because I would have liked to see an underdog win. As much as I thought coming into this playoffs, the Rams were easily a top 2 team to go win it all. I mean, if I could see an underdog like the Panthers, have a great story and squeeze this type of game out, I would have loved to see it. But their coaching had other decisions. But I think it's an overall great outlook for the Panthers on the season. A great game played in the playoffs, despite only making the playoffs at 8 and 9. At the end of the day, that's how it goes. It's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. They're in a division that is one of the weakest in the NFL. They were the winners of that division, and they took advantage of it. And they nearly won a playoff game. And they got a lot to look forward to going forward. They got some young receivers out there, and obviously McMillan and Coker that you like as building blocks. Bryce Young is not looking like he is going to get his 5th-year extension or his 5th-year option, I should say. And then they'll look forward to what they want to do with him going forward. I think an extension is certainly in play. The money is going to be a big question mark, but obviously we'll have to see what he does next year. But again, it's an overall successful season for the Panthers, and I think it's something to look forward to. Again, in a weaker division, this is not a division where they have to go out there and win 12 or 13 games. They can easily make the playoffs next year again, winning 9 games, 10 games, 8 games potentially again. Who knows? But I think it was an overall great outputting by them, despite being, again, like I said, outgunned and outmatched.
I just want to say,
I'll let you go. Yeah.
I just want to chime in a little bit. I want to tip my cap to Mike Jackson.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he played
100%.
out of his mind. One interception, 4 pass deflections. Mm-hmm. I believe he only let up like 2 catches.
Yep.
I mean, he's playing out of his mind. I'm trying to look up what contract he's on right now because he signed a 2-year. I thought, okay. So I didn't know if he was like on a 1-year or something, but I was going to say he's about to get paid this offseason off that game. I mean, he's been great this season, but that game was insane.
Yeah, it was one of the – and, again, that's a great point because I completely skipped over that. It's one of the best corner games I've seen in a while, matched up against, you could say arguably the best receiving duo in the league with Devontae and Puka. Obviously, Devontae returning from an injury, so it's not a fully 100%, Tay, but – I mean, Mike Jackson has been doing this the whole year, and for him to go out
reps
there
against both of them too. This game, amazing reps.
Yeah, for him to go out here and do that in a playoff game. I mean, he wanted this win, and as I mentioned, it hurt that defense a lot with JC going down, but yeah, he stepped up in a big way that entire game. Obviously, he's a player that gets targeted. That's what it's gonna be. When you're playing alongside an all-pro level cornerback like they have with JC, if you're the corner on that opposite side, you're going to get targeted. You're going to get targeted probably, 50, 60% more of the time than the other guy does, and you're going to have to be able to take advantage of that. You're going to give up some plays, but also you have a chance to make a ton. And on this game specifically, he didn't give up many, if at all, and he made a ton. So, yeah, definitely a great point there because that's a player totally forgot to mention. And on the Rams side, I guess I'll stay on this for a little bit longer. I felt like I mainly talked about the Panthers. It's a good win. I mean, it's definitely a win that you'd want to be more convincing, especially in a team that you feel like you should be able to go out here and win the Super Bowl. I mean, 3 for 13 on third down is not something that you want to see from a team like this. Matthew Stafford, as I mentioned, started out the game great, but after that, for about a full quarter and a half, was very, very, shaky until that defense really just started to give up everything underneath. I mean, it's definitely some worrisome. Puka's going to go out there and do his thing. I mean, the run game was, it was solid for sure. I thought they did an okay job running the football. And yeah, they're gonna have a tough battle going forward if they're gonna keep playing like that, because essentially this was supposed to be by far the worst team in the playoffs, and they gave it to them. So yeah, hopefully the Rams can clean it up a little bit going forward. The next game on our slate is the Packers and Bears. And my goodness, I don't know how they keep doing it. I don't know how. I don't know how. You see teams like this every single year that make the playoffs where they have a ton of one-score wins. And with the Backers, the Bears, it's so different because these aren't your typical one-score games. These are a miracle wins every single time. Every single time they're down by 2 scores in the fourth quarter, and just somehow they keep on doing it. And this is supposed to be a thing where it's like these type of things just won't happen in the playoffs. You can have these type of great things go on in the regular season, but the playoffs are a different ball game. Do you know how many points the Bears scored in the fourth quarter? Off the top of your head, do you think you could say?
It's like 20 something, no? Like 20, 24?
25 points. They scored 6 in the first 3 quarters. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? They had 218 yards of offense in the fourth quarter. I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do with that. I mean, this team looks like a bottom 5 team through the first 3 quarters of these games. And then in the fourth quarter, they look like the greatest team ever assembled. I don't know how they do it, but they keep on doing it. And it's honestly a thing where, like, I can go into this next matchup and be like, yeah, I got to factor in that the Bears keep on squeezing these games out. Maybe it won't happen. I can't even do that no more. It's almost in a way like a positive. I almost have to be like, yeah, but the Bears can squeeze any game out, so I got to give them a little bit of hope. It's like, it's crazy. It is crazy, man. And again, this was a game, the Packers were up 21-3. 21-3 at halftime. That's a 17-point lead. A 3-point, or not a 17, 18-point lead. 3-score possession. And you choke that away. Man, not a good look. Not a good look at all. And I want to keep back on the Bears because, again, they seem to keep on doing it. And the one specific play that sums up this entire game, on that fourth down, I want to say it was in the fourth quarter where Caleb Williams threw that pass. I think it was off of his right foot, fading away to the left. He basically was on no feet when he threw that football, and it was an absolute dime. Considering the circumstance, it is one of the best throws I've ever seen in my life. One of the best plays I've ever seen. That shit was, again, like I said, I don't even think he had his feet on the ground when he threw that football. Over 2 defenders, right before another defender, and right in the breadbasket. That was unreal. And again, that's why it makes it so interesting to me. Caleb Williams is one of the oddest quarterbacks I've ever seen. This guy is Superman when he's on the run, but for some reason in the pocket, he can only complete 50% of his passes. It's the weirdest thing ever, but it keeps on working. I don't get it. I don't get it, man, but it genuinely is great to see that the Bears squeezed this one out, because as a team that was, down in the gutter for so long, for them to do something like this and to keep, the train going, I mean, I can't do nothing but be excited for their fan base, man, especially when you have a rookie like Loveland go out there and have a game like that, 8 for 137. Man, did he look good. And does he look good? Sorry, we'll move on to the Packers real quick, because again, just a historic blown lead. I mean, you don't get many 21-3 blown leads in the playoffs really ever. But it's a rough thing to see. I mean, I would certainly say that changes are coming in that head coach position. I mean, you look at the third quarter, they had 29 total yards. That's just not something you want to see from a team that, wants to keep their foot on the pedal. I mean, that's another thing. Again, it's the thing that frustrates me the most when these teams get these leads. They feel like they have to change the way that they play, and I don't get it, because that's not how you got a 21-3 lead. You didn't get a 21-3 lead completely changing your offense, completely changing your defense. And that's essentially how teams, blow these games. But my goodness. And obviously, I think the biggest story for the Packers in this game is, Brandon McManus, 2 field goals and an extra point miss. That's 7 total points. That's essentially a touchdown taken off the board. And I think obviously this game looks a lot different if he can make, let's say, 1 field goal in that PAT. Obviously, in theory, it would be a tie game and they'd go to overtime. But again, it changes a lot of things, because it the circumstances on when those kicks happened. If the Bears were to go for it on this 4th down, maybe they don't get it. Maybe they don't kick a field goal here. Maybe they do this differently. A lot of things change, the butterfly effect, obviously. But man, I mean, what a unreal start to the playoffs on this Saturday slate. Is there anything you wanted to chime in and touch on before we go on to the next game?
I just want to talk about the Bears, because I mean, obviously, credit to them for the comeback win, but obviously it wasn't all perfect. Right. Obviously, they were down big in this game. I want to touch on the fourth down decisions early in the game that were a little head scratching.
Yeah.
Like the 4th and 6. I get it. They were kind of in that no man's land territory where kind of too close to punt, but too far to kick it. So I kind of get it. And then, as the game goes on, all the other 4th downs are going for. I mean, you went for those, so you might as well go for the shorter ones that they ended up not getting, like that one in the red zone where Caleb threw the interception. But the one I was really, was really mind-boggling was that one they were down, I think 14-3 on their own 32, and they went for it on 4th and 5 and didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then the Packers go down and get another touchdown, bringing the lead to 21-3 right before half. That was just, I don't know.
Was that the one where I think they had someone open on like some type of drag and it got tipped, or was that a different 4th down I'm thinking of?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, because I remember
I think Edgerton Cooper tipped it. It was for, I think, Luther Burden.
Yeah, I was like, damn, they had a man too, which is brutal. That's like the worst part when you have someone open and it gets tipped. But
man, that was just like such aggressive like play call. And I get it. That's kind of how they've done it all season, and it's gotten you there. But I'm like, man, going forward, is Ben Johnson going to keep that up, or it's kind of like a one-off thing? Like he felt like he needed to match them, because Packers did start off hot. I mean, their receivers were absolutely torching the Bears' defensive backs. Jalen Johnson was getting picked on early in that game. Yeah. Until the second half, the Bears started to get some pressure on Jordan Love, make him a little uncomfortable in the pocket.
Yeah.
And but early in the game, man, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, they were torching the Bears DBs.
Yeah, and especially in that, I want to say it was in that 4th quarter, Man, they were attacking Kyler Gordon. I think he gave
Oh,
up like
yeah.
3 or 4 big
Forgot
ones.
about that one. Yeah, they
quarter.
went like 5 straight plays going
Yeah.
right at him.
I mean, and they were
That was
just turning
crazy.
him around like every single play. Yeah, that one was big time. And I think with the fourth down thing, and this is interesting because obviously it's a thing that the Lions did a ton when Ben Johnson was over there. And obviously you still see it with the Lions. They're still a very aggressive fourth down team. So I don't know if that's a thing that Ben Johnson got from Dan Campbell or Dan Campbell got from Ben Johnson.
I think that's
I'm
a
not
thing
really
Ben
sure.
Johnson got from Dan Campbell. I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm just going off vibes with that, but
I guess that would make
seems
sense.
like that's a Dan Campbell thing, and it's translated.
Right.
It's
Because-
something Ben Johnson picked up on. But I mean, it's an analytic thing. I mean, you see coaches all the time. Like they're
Yeah.
not the only team that plays like that.
But to be fair, I think by the numbers, I think they are like by far the team that has gone for it most on fourth downs from like the past like 3 years or something like that. I remember seeing a statistic. But yeah, what a great, 2 games to open off the weekend. And trust me, it don't stop there because now let's
And I want to show a little bit of love to the Packers linebackers, Quay Walker and Edgerton Cooper. They played out of their minds as well.
Great point.
I mean, they're big reason on getting a lot of those fourth down stops.
Mm-hmm.
And they were and I put in my notes. I ended up deleting it because like right as I put it, I don't have the stats for this, but I want to say like I don't know what was Colston Loveland's stats in the first half. I don't know if you have real pulled up.
Yeah, I can find that out.
But like that's what I put. Like I was like, because I know in the back half of this year, Colston Loveland really turned it up, and he was a big part of the Bears' offense. And I was saying how the Packers were able to kind of neutralize him as a threat this game. And then I want to say in the second half, like first drive, that's when he started catching more balls and turning up, and obviously had a big game.
First half, he had 1 for 22.
So second half, he went off.
Yeah. In the second half, he had 7 for 115 in the second half.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great point. I didn't even register that, but yeah, Colston Loveland definitely did that. We'll go ahead and move on to these Sunday games, starting out with the first one, which was I would say for sure the best game of this Sunday slate, and that is the Bills and Jags. Man, oh man, what a game this was. A game that looked like it was going to be decently low scoring, and then in the fourth quarter there was 28 total points scored by both teams combined. And I think the biggest thing, I wrote this down in my notes, the biggest thing that I was interested to see going into this game was the Bills are one of the worst run defenses in the league, and the Jaguars are one of the best run defenses in the league. And on both sides, both of these teams run the ball very, very effectively. So I was interested to see how that was going to play out. Can the Buffalo Bills run the ball effectively with one of the best backs in the league and James Cook against a defense that has not allowed a 75-plus yard rusher all season? And also, can Jacksonville, as one of the best rushing teams in the league, take advantage of the Bills being one of the worst run defenses in the league? And in a way, it worked out. Obviously, Buffalo did not have a great rushing attack. James Cook had 15 for 46, an average of 3.1 yards per carry. And in games where James Cook did not have 100 rushing yards, despite the last game of the season, because the starters didn't really play that game, they were 3-4 when James Cook did not have 100 rushing yards. Obviously, a losing record. And again, as I mentioned, Jacksonville is one of the best at defending the run, and they were able to get that done. They were able to hold him to, like I said, 46 yards. And on the other side, as a team, they rushed for 154 yards. Travis Etienne was super effective. Bashal Tutin was, ridiculously good. Multiple long runs. I think 4 carries is a little bit low. Would have liked to see him get a little bit more involved, is one of the things that I had down, but obviously they weren't able to get that done. And yeah, I think it was, in a way, it was a thing where a team with a ton of playoff experience and an MVP caliber quarterback in Josh Allen got it done versus a team that it has a lot of young players that are very inexperienced in the playoffs. And I think that's really just what it boiled down to. You had the early mistake by Trevor Lawrence early on in this game where he threw that really bad interception. And then obviously the interception at the end of the game where they had a chance to potentially go tie it up or even win the game. And on the first play, he forces it in a very, very tight coverage into Jacoby Myers, and Tre'Davious White, who has been exceptional this second half of the season, makes a great play. And it's one of the worst feelings as a fan when you see that ball tip into the air and you just 100% know it's an interception. It's one of the worst feelings. And as soon as that pass got thrown or through, once he threw that pass and I saw that, I'm like, yeah, that's getting intercepted. And we won't even get to see 2 plays of a potential Trevor Lawrence game-winning drive. And I think they said on the stats, I think Trevor Lawrence has 5 or 6 interceptions in his 2 games, right? He only has 2 playoff games in his career. And I want to say it's like the most of all time for a quarterback through their first 2 games in the playoffs. Again, that's not something that you want to see out of Lawrence. That's kind of what Lawrence is known for. He's going to make some bonehead decisions. He's going to have some really bad plays. But also, I know it's kind of crazy to say because, again, those 2 interceptions are really bad. If you take those away, I thought Lawrence played a pretty solid game. I didn't think he played like a 9 or 10 out of 10 type of game, but I thought he played like a 7, 7.5 type of game if you take out those obviously huge mistakes, which you can't. But yeah, I think another big thing for this Jacksonville team that really hurt them is Parker Washington going down early. I want to say he came back like in the middle of the second quarter, but that was something I felt like really slowed down their offense. And I think one thing that really hurt this team that may not show up a ton in the stat sheet is that 4th down where Trevor Lawrence tripped when they were right at the goal line, potentially could have scored a touchdown. That's happened a lot in these playoff games with these 4th down decisions, but that was a big one that really could have changed this game. And Jacksonville, unfortunately, just could not pull it out. And on the other side with Buffalo, obviously, Josh Allen, Superman himself, getting it done. Similar to
Iron Man. I mean, they listed off like 5 injuries he was playing through. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
On the broadcast, he hyperextended his leg. He jammed his finger on his teammate's helmet. Mm-hmm. He's playing with that ankle injury he had in like week 18 that he recently got, playing through it. Got evaluated for a concussion.
Yeah, he went into
literally
the
Iron Man
twice. Yeah. I want to say this game,
and he's playing through it. I mean,
yeah, he's a beast, bro. And
Similar to Caleb, as I mentioned with the Bears game, that Josh throw, I want to say this was on the game-winning drive. I think it was a third down. Maybe it was second, but I want to say it was a third down to Brandon Cooks, where he essentially threw that pass before the defender broke off. But they were running almost like they had like I think a duo set with Brandon Cooks on the outside, and I think it was Kincaid right next to him. Kincaid runs it out. Cooks runs like a post route. And basically the outside corner breaks in on the Kincaid out route. And Josh Allen, I'm talking about fading away off of his back foot, throws this like 45 yards in the air and an absolute perfect pass to Brandon Cooks, which something that's funny that I saw. Someone said Brandon Cooks has the longest career of a chest catching receiver that they've ever seen. And that's a really good point. I don't think I've ever seen Brandon Cooks catch a football with his hands. It seems like every time he catches it, it's with his chest, which I thought was pretty funny. But I mean, he's just been making plays for the Bills ever since he arrived. And a big game where they needed it. 3 catches for 58 yards. And my goodness.
Have a day, Unc.
Yeah, I mean, a huge day for a team that desperately needs receiver help.
Man, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
With the, A.J. Brown stuff, not talking to the media, hugging his teammates.
Yeah.
Man, A.J. Brown in Buffalo, I can see it.
That's definitely
nice.
something I'm bringing up once we get on to this next game. But I mean, yeah, you look at their leading receiver, Khalil Shakir, had 82 yards on 12 catches. Again, that's his game. He's a screen type, short pass type of guy, yak or whatever it may be. But man, they really need that number one. Obviously, they wanted it to be Keon
Mr.
Coleman.
Cookies.
Yeah, Mr. Cookies, but he's not that. He's just not that. He's not that. He did have one
grace to the young guys.
he did have one really big catch, the 36-yarder, which I thought he potentially even could have scored on, but then once he caught the ball and started running, I remember just how slow he is. But yeah, the Bills
You're supposed to be our number one, but you're playing like a bum.
They desperately need a number one out there in Buffalo. And I think it's interesting. I really wonder if this saves Sean McDermott's, I wonder if this saves his title over there in Buffalo. Is there a chance if they lose next round he gets fired? I don't know. I thought if they were a first round exit, he for sure would be gone, but with them advancing to the next round, there's a very high likelihood that he continues his stint in Buffalo. What, as far as you think that I think he gets fired if they lose next round?
Yeah.
I think
guaranteed. I mean, I get it. Like, they haven't had the most success under him, like in the playoffs at least. But like, man, you gonna fire your coach? I mean, how many straight division titles have they won? Not this year, but like,
I think that part. Not that it's
true. Like, just like, it's a high floor, low ceiling type thing. But like, I don't know. Like, do we see things like that happen with the coach like this? I mean, they're making the playoffs every year. I mean, he has Josh Allen on his team, no doubt. But like, the roster this year is not very talented.
Yeah,
it hasn't been for a while.
I think I look at it from a standpoint similar to a John Harbaugh and a Matt LaFleur. Obviously, Matt LaFleur is not fired yet, but that's, there is reports coming out where it's like they could see that. And those are some things where I can't agree with it, where it's like when you have multiple years in a row, I think once you go on like a 4 to 5 year stagnant window where it's like you have legit Super Bowl contending type years, and I get it, they were running into obviously Thanos, Patrick Mahomes, and they just could not get by him. I mean, nobody could for the past 4 years. But I just think you want to see your team get over that hill. And I think in a playoff run like this where Mahomes is gone, and I think the AFC is at, I don't necessarily want to, I mean, I guess you can say it's at its weakest because I can legitimately see every single team making it all the way in this, bracket. I guess outside of the Chargers going into this, I didn't see any world where they would get far. And I guess also, I mean, not to say anything, but even like the Steelers, I guess I couldn't see. But as far as like the Bills, Jags, Patriots, Texans, Broncos, I could legitimately see all 5 of those teams in the Super Bowl. So I think when you have a scenario like that, I would like to see the Bills feel that they're the most confident and be the best team in this when they, without a doubt, have the best quarterback in the bracket. And I mean, in the playoffs period, I guess, yeah, you can say, because obviously there's no Mahomes, no Burrow, no nothing, no Lamar. I mean, they have the best quarterback in the playoffs. I'd like to see them, I mean, at least make a Super Bowl. I mean, if you go 6 years in a row with a prime Josh Allen and not make a Super Bowl, I think ultimately it has to be looked at. It has to be looked at because divisionals and one AFC championship. Am I wrong at that? I think they've only made one AFC championship in the run with Josh Allen. It's like I can't be like, all right, we're good to go. Let's just run it back. I can't. And I'm not saying they for sure would do that, but I think it has to be looked at, especially in a run like this where Mahomes is knocked out. So I think because they won this game, I do believe he comes back for another year. But if they lost this, I would have 100% been on the side of fire him. And next year, if they do come up short of a Super Bowl, then again, they can make it to the AFC Championship and have a heartbreaker and lose. I would still be on the side of fire him because, again, I don't think you can have 7 straight years of Josh Allen in his prime and not make a Super Bowl. That's just my opinion. But But anyway, the next game that we're going to get to, we mentioned it a little bit in the previous one, is this Niners-Eagles game, which, again, another great game. Didn't really seem like it. I guess I can't say amazing or anything like that, but this was definitely a solid game. Again, a game that really ramped up in the fourth quarter with the Niners scoring 13 of those, obviously pulling it out 23-19. I guess I haven't really been going over these scores. The Bills pulled out last game 27-24, with the Niners pulling out this one 23-19. And the one big thing, this was similar to last game where I had two big things that I was looking at for this game, and that was the Eagles pass game and the Niners run game. They have both been very, very bad on both sides, and that stood true. Christian McCaffrey had 15 for 48 on the ground, an average of 3.2 on the ground, and Jalen Hurts had 35 pass attempts for 168 yards. 168 yards. And I want to say probably like 40 or 50 of those were on the last drive. I mean, this Eagles offense is putrid. And I cannot believe that people still try to defend this team. And I don't want to turn this into anything, but I still can't believe that people try to put a quarterback like Hurts in these upper echelons of quarterbacks. It's beyond me. It's beyond me when you go out here and you see things like this and you still try to put him in these conversations. They really wanted to get this run established. I mean, Saquon ran the ball 26 times. He did have 106 yards. He averaged 4.1 per carry, which is, not bad at all. That's a solid mark. You obviously want to be above 4 as a running back. 4.1 is not amazing or anything, but it's a solid mark. It's not bad or anything, but they just could not get it going. It's felt like the entire year this is how it's been. And especially for a player like A.J. Brown. I mean, we saw with multiple, bad drops from a player that many look at to be one of the best receivers in the league. And obviously with a season like this, he's definitely dropping a lot. I think without a doubt, he's gone. He is gone. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that A.J. Brown is going to be on a new team next year. I mean, obviously, like Jaden mentioned, you see the reports of him hugging teammates and then leaving. He didn't want to do no type of interviews, and you see the scuffle that him and Nick Sirianni had on the sideline. A lot of people thought that was after the drop pass. That's not what that was about. That was A.J. Brown was obviously told to get off the field because they had too many men, and I guess he was kind of like jogging in a way. And Sirianni ran over and did that. And a lot of people didn't like that, myself included. I think obviously you want a player to be more, assertive getting off the sideline. You don't want to risk a penalty in a game like this. But I think you kind of leave that up to your position coaches. And if you want to say something to him, I think that's something that has to happen in private. I think just going up to him like that in a situation like that is maybe not something that I necessarily agree with. I get it. You want to be a leader of men. You want to show that intention, but the
especially knowing AJ was probably frustrated from the series of events that happened. Because
exactly.
that was right after the deep ball over the middle. He ran the post, and it was just out of his hands. And then there was the third down. He ran like
which
a go route or something
right off his fingertips.
Yeah, that would catchable, more catchable than the first one, but that was a tough catch. It would have been a tough catch to make. So he's a bit frustrated, but yeah. Right.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, the tensions have been high over there for a while over there in Philadelphia. As I mentioned, I am a firm believer that A.J. Brown is gone. I think there's no way that you can get this relationship back going over there in Philly. So expect A.J. Brown on a new team. And I'm hoping for it, man. I'm hoping a bunch of players get traded this offseason. That's just more great content.
100%. Yeah, he got his ring in Philly. And he's always been – obviously I'm not saying this is true, but he kind of perceives himself to be more of a stat guy. He cares about how well he's doing more than the team's success. I'm not saying that's true. Yeah. But, he got his ring. Why not go play for a quarterback, like Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the game. He's going to get you the ball.
Right. So, and I think there's a lot of teams. That's something interesting. And you know what? I hope that report does become true, once everything goes over and let's say a report comes out of A.J. Brown requesting a trade, because that would be a fun little segment to go over, like, which teams do we believe would be the best. Because, I mean,
I keep saying Buffalo, but I don't know if there's a team that's contending, to make sure that would need him more than Buffalo. Like, off the top of my mind. Like, sure, there's teams. Yeah, but
I think Buffalo would 100% be at the top of that list, because that's.
I feel like New England runs a strict culture over there. Someone like they got. But then it would be like Diggs. Let me just chill.
It would also be reunited with Mike Vrabel, where he had a great relationship with him in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So,
and I was gonna say, like a diva like AJ Brown, but I mean, they got
Diggs.
the biggest diva of them all over there. So let me chill on that. So New England. I can see New England.
I mean, also AJ Brown is I guess you could say, not a great locker room type of guy, frustrated on the field. I mean, Diggs is an overall just terrible human being. So
Diggs and AJ Brown in the same locker room. I'd love to see a documentary of that.
Oh man, that would be nuts. But yeah, AJ Brown is gone. This Philly team, I mean, you see it over the past 4 years where they make the Super Bowl, get rid of their coordinators, have a terrible year. They bring in new great quarterbacks. They win the Super Bowl. And then the following year, this year, obviously, they lose their offensive coordinator to the Saints. And now this is what's happening. I mean, you got Eagles fans calling for this man neck. Bad stuff over there in Philly. And then we'll talk about the Niners side. Brock Purdy, I thought, played a very mid-game. He had the 2 really bad interceptions. I thought he had some solid plays. I thought he had some really good looks over the middle for some big gains. But I think the Niners have a really low floor in this playoffs. I did have them beating the Eagles because I think the Eagles are just an overall bad football team and didn't think that they would be able to do much in the playoffs considering their offense. But the fact that the Niners struggle so much on the ground with having, one of the best running backs in the league in McCaffrey, and despite him obviously being one of the best offensive weapons, just running the football, he's not effective at all. He hasn't been effective at all this whole entire year running the football. And when you put that much weight on Purdy's shoulders, it's going to be tough, especially considering the injuries that they have. I mean, on top of Kittle going out, not only are they missing Ayuk because he's turning into the modern-day Joker, not only are they missing Pearsall because of injury, now they're missing Kittle. I mean, don't get me wrong. Demarcus Robinson turned into fucking Calvin Johnson. 6 for 111 and a touchdown. I mean, if he's going to do that every game, maybe they'll be good. But I don't know if you can count on that. Because outside of that,
insane out there. He was moving.
Yeah. No, he
was running routes with anticipation. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen him play like that.
He looked great. So I don't know if you can fully count on that. I mean, Juwan Jennings was looked at to be their number one going into this game, and he only has that one big catch on that, like, I think it was like that dagger concept that he got open on. But yeah, not much offense coming out. McCaffrey and Robinson, I think, were the only players on this offense that had over 2 catches. Everybody else only had 1 catch. That was what Juwan Jennings had a catch. Jake Tongues had a catch. Juszczyk did have 4 catches.
Got some work in the pass game.
I forgot.
That's what they're fucking down to.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I can't count on a team like this to keep it going when Juszczyk
Malik Turner
is gonna have to
Sky Moore getting reps at receiver.
Right. And it's like I don't
It's right. And that's why I picked the Eagles initially. Like, I thought, their cornerback duo, which, ended, obviously they played great, this year, ended up being, 2 first-team All-Pro corners. And for the most part, they did their job. I mean, Demarcus Robinson went off. He, first drive, had those 2 catches on Quinyon. But after that, I'm pretty sure all his other catches were on Adoree Jackson. Like, they were kind of going at Adoree Jackson. And Cooper DeJean, he gave up the big catch to Juwan. But for the most part, I think their corners did what I thought they would do. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't enough.
Yeah. And again, I think their defense did play really well for the most part of this game. Yeah. It's just at the end of the day, their offense couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean, their defense forced 2 turnovers at midfield, and it's like you want to be able.
I think the Eagles would have had a better chance if they just pushed every drive.
Yeah, that's a good point.
3 yards there, 4 yards there. Just keep it going.
That's
and then a fake tush push there. Dallas Goedert touchdown, 14th touchdown of the season.
Oh my goodness, yeah, it's rough over there in Philly. I mean, they got to go out there and find a new coordinator. They're gonna have to certainly look for some receivers potentially in the draft. With I would consider all but certain AJ Brown is gonna be gone, and yeah, I think this just further proves our point where we both picked Kyle Shanahan as the coach of the year. I mean, to win a game like this when you are down this many players, it's crazy. I really wish there was a statistic to see like teams that have went through the most injuries to win a playoff game. I mean, they got to be up there. And considering like the amount of like stars that are being injured, this isn't like regular type of, a left guard or, a linebacker. I mean, these are like all pro level players that are being missed, and they just won a playoff game. So
I will say it's going to be interesting if Fred Warner really does come back next week.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point because that was the report. That was a report that he's eyeing a divisional round.
Was that video AI? Do you remember that video coming out a couple weeks ago of him fucking like climbing up?
Please stop. Please stop. Please don't tell me you're serious right now, bro.
I don't know. I don't remember how it looked, but I want to say I remember seeing it thinking that was AI. But I don't know.
It wasn't even AI. That like wasn't him at all. That was like,
that looked like Fred Warner.
That was a complete like troll of like some.
I was gonna say, man, if he could do that, man, he might need to get up in the Olympics or something.
No way.
I would. I believe it, man. Fred Warner, he's crazy. I love me some Fred Warner.
But yeah, that would be great for that defense. I mean, I don't know how much that would change it if they can go out there and beat one of these other NFC teams, but it's a big boost. I mean, I can't put nothing past the Niners. It's similar to the Bears.
The Seahawks, right?
Let me see.
Yeah, because they're not playing. They're 100% they're playing. Because I know they wouldn't. They 100% wouldn't be playing the Bears.
I thought I bookmarked it.
It's the Seahawks
for the round. It's the Seahawks that they're playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Seahawks, Niners, Rams, Bears.
Okay, yeah, I got it up here. And then Bills, Broncos is also on that day. And then out of the winner of Steelers, Texans will go on to play the winner of this final game that we are talking about, and that's the Patriots, Chargers, with the Patriots pulling this one out, pretty convincingly, 16-3. It was a really ugly game for the most part. I mean, a very heavy defensive game. And we'll start with the Patriots before we get to the Chargers. I thought the Patriots offense looked very stagnant for the most part of this game. Their real success came from when, Drake May was scrambling and on Ramondre Stevenson out the backfield catching footballs. I thought that in the fourth quarter, obviously they picked it up and they got that last touchdown to really put the nail in the coffin. But I guess that goes to show just how great that Chargers defense is, with the Patriots offense being one of the better ones in the league. And I think we expected this coming in, where the Patriots, obviously the big knock on them was that they did not play a whole ton of competition in the year, and they come into the playoffs and did not look necessarily like that same team that we saw in the regular season. And it's Drake May's first playoff game. I mean, I'm not going to expect him to come out here and look like prime Tom Brady. I'm going to expect him to come out here and look like a second-year quarterback in his first playoff game. And I thought for the most part he played solid. I don't think
he missed some throws, the interception.
Yeah.
Wasn't really
his fault, but yeah. And again, I did.
He missed throws, but he also made some throws. So
right, and especially the touchdown pass. The touchdown pass was obviously his best of the day, and that was pretty. I mean, that was layered in perfectly right over the defender. One of the better throws that you're going to see from this first wild card weekend. And I think the Patriots. You can go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think the Patriots don't necessarily have a high ceiling. I don't think I look at this team as a Super Bowl team. I think when you see the struggles that they did have, I think they very well could lose to, the Bills or Broncos, whatever it may be. I think there's a very high likelihood that they could get past.
That's kind of where I was going. I don't know if they get past Houston.
Really?
Which, I mean, I have Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, with how the Chargers were able to just get consistent pressure on May, like all game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, Houston's defensive line, what they're going to do, I don't even want to think about it.
Right.
They might get tried for war crimes.
And I would also have, I mean, not by a lot, but I guess I would have more confidence in the Texans offense to put up more than 3 points. Maybe they. I'm not saying.
And that goes both ways. I mean, the Chargers got consistent pressure on Drake May, but the Patriots did the same with the Chargers, and that's what it came down to. Mm-hmm. The Patriots were just the better offense and were able to get more done. Check downs to Ramondre really helped them out a lot. And the Chargers, they said it in the broadcast. I mean, the Chargers' offensive line was the worst at picking up stunts this game. I mean, all season. And that's what they said the Patriots were most likely going to come in and do, and that's what they did. And, they gave – it's that tweet, Justin Herbert's subplot, and it's fucking like a battlefield scene. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I feel bad.
Going into it, you saw the reports or the statistics of the Chargers offensive line being the literal worst in the NFL according to the numbers. And
31st in the rush game and 32nd in pass pro. It's so bad.
I mean, sacked 6 times. I mean, there really wasn't much for Justin Herbert to do. I mean, he scrambled 10 times this game. Obviously, a few of them were designed runs, so I would probably put that number around 7-ish. That he had to scramble out this time. So, yeah.
I mean, that just goes to show. I didn't realize Justin Herbert was second in the league this year in rushing yards for quarterback. Obviously, Justin Herbert, he's got wheels. He can move. He's fast.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's how he wants to play. I don't think he wants to be that high in rushing yards. And obviously that comes down to the offensive line.
Yeah.
Just giving up, I wonder what the number of those are design runs or scrambles compared to Josh Allen, who's number 1.
Right.
He's just running for his life. I feel bad.
Yeah. And on top of that, they don't have any type of run game when you account for this offensive line. They can't pass block. They can't run block. You're not going to be able to do anything as an offense. Justin Herbert, as I mentioned, was sacked 6 times. And their running backs looked like Kamani Vidal, who had 11 for 31, 2.8 per carry. And Amarion Hampton got 1 carry this game for -1 rushing yards. So there's not much that you can do with that for an offense where their receivers can't get open and their quarterback is getting pressured literally on every single snap. Again, you just saw it. They couldn't even put up more than 3 points. For a large portion of that second half, their best offensive play was Justin Herbert getting strip sacked and Kamani Vidal picking it up and rushing for 12 or 13 yards or something. For about a quarter and a half of the second half, for about the entire third quarter and a good portion of the fourth quarter, that was their best offensive play, was a 12-yard scoop off of a fumble that went for a first down. Ugly stuff over there with the Chargers. They have to really just look at their roster and kind of revamp the whole thing. Obviously, I think their 2 tackles being injured, the biggest thing that we talk about, I think this game looks different with them. Does it boost them to win? Maybe, but also that receiving room, I don't know, they just took a massive dip. Quentin Johnston was looking like he was going to be a breakout candidate, looked like a Pro Bowl type receiver to start out the year. He can't even get open anymore. Ladd McConkey, one of the star rookie receivers from last year who really picked it up towards the middle to late half of this season, and he just took a fall off of a cliff. Arando Gadsden was one of the best stories of the league. And when he came in with his 3 or 4 game stretch where he was lighting it up, and after that he was non-existent. I don't know what to do. And I know it's the big running joke with the if man. Oh, Justin Herbert needs this, Justin Herbert needs that, whatever. This dude is without a doubt a top 5, top 6 quarterback, however you slice it. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. This dude is a top 5 talent at quarterback. I get it. It sounds like he needs a lot of excuses, but these are valid as fuck. I mean, did you just watch the game? I mean, he's pressured on every single drop back. He has no type of run game. His receivers cannot create any space. I mean,
I don't know if we've seen a top quarterback in a worse situation.
I mean,
in a long time.
It's real. Like it's not a thing where it's like a Josh Allen type of situation where I agree that's a rough situation. His receivers are not the greatest. Josh Allen has a top 5 offensive line, probably even higher, probably top 3, and one of the best running backs in the league. All my life, you put Justin Herbert on that Bills team, and they go out there and they curb stomp this Patriots team. They beat them comfortably. Again, this is a thing where it looks a lot bigger, 16-3. Oh, it's a 13-point game. This Chargers defense held that Patriots offense to really nothing for a majority of the game. Obviously, they got that late touchdown, which really put it away. But when a defense has to keep on going out there after 3 and out, 5 plays punt, 4 plays punt, 6 plays punt, and your offense just can't put up nothing, I mean, it's impossible to win a game like that. I mean, it frustrates me. It frustrates me. And I get it. I be on social media. I wish I wouldn't be on Twitter as much as I am, but I also like to be on it to be informed what's going on in the NFL. I like seeing statistics pop up, and I wish there was a way to help, filter what I'm seeing. I definitely be like, not interested on a lot of shit that I see, but because I interact with NFL Twitter so much, it still pops up with these trolls. And a lot of these people are serious. A lot of these people really believe that Justin Herbert is not that guy because he's put in one of the worst positions that you can be as a quarterback. It frustrates me. I would take this dude in a heartbeat to be on the Raiders. In a fucking heartbeat. This guy is better than 95% of the quarterbacks in the league. There's probably 4 quarterbacks, maybe 5 at max, that I would take over him for the rest of his career. Maybe 5, and that's pushing it. It's unreal stuff. Chargers get it together. New England, congrats on the win. I mean, I would say you deserve it. You got 7 Super Bowls. You should be happy. You had a little bit of a drought, and you get gifted with Drake May. Congratulations, dude. Jeez. It hurts my soul. I wish I could go from the greatest of all time to a freaking prodigy in Drake May. Shout out and Michael May. But those are all the games from this wildcard weekend. I guess not all of them. Sorry, Steelers. Sorry, Texans fans. We're going to have to go over that next episode. You guys will be facing, again, we just went over
the Patriots.
Yeah, it's going to be the Patriots next week. Man, this slate of games, Bills, Broncos. I guess we'll do a quick one. We won't go super in-depth, but since we have like somewhat of and I guess we're both picking the Texans, but we'll look at it from both sides. On that Saturday first slate, Bills, Broncos, are you going I think I'd go Bills.
I'm going Bills.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing
I get it.
pleases me more to see the Broncos lose.
I get it.
Not
The
win the
Broncos are
Bo
the
Nix
number
in
one
the
seed.
championship. Oh, I can't even comprehend. I cannot.
Oh my gosh, that would be nasty.
I can't envision it.
That would be nasty work. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we're both going Bills on that side. 49ers, Seahawks. Again, I think we're both going Seahawks.
Yeah.
Rams, Bears. This is somewhat interesting because, again, I can't look at this and be like, I think the Rams could do it or whatever, because the Bears are just going to fucking score 20 points in the fourth quarter no matter what. I mean, I want to go Bears for the fun storyline, but also I think that Rams team is obviously better, but
I'm going to go Bears.
I want to...
I'm going to go Bears.
I want to agree. I want to agree with you, but just for the sake that we have at least one that's different, I'm gonna go Rams. So we got Bears, Rams on that one, and then the final game from next Sunday will be either Steelers or Texans versus Patriots.
I think if it's the Texans, honestly,
Patriots,
I like the Texans in the upset. But if it's the Steelers, give me the Patriots.
Okay. I think I think I'm going. This is a tough one because this. I think I'm gonna go Pats. Even though I just talked all that about the Pats, I think I go Pats no matter what. Either versus Texans or Steelers. I think the Patriots lose the following in the AFC Championship. But I think they squeeze by either the Texans and for sure the Steelers. But again, it could go either way. I think I'm more so just kind of picking different picks. I don't want to be the same on everything. So I think I'll rock with Drake May. And also it would help out because I have one of his rookie cards that keeps on going up in price. I literally looked 4 days ago and it was at $25 and now it's at $30. So if he wins this game, that's probably a $35 card. And that's all I'm interested in, I guess, at this point is my damn cards because I'm addicted at this point.
So you're not giving an authentic review because you're being biased.
I mean, I think...
Wait a podcast.
I think it is a legit 50-50. So give me the guy that, I mean, probably won't win MVP because Stafford did get first-team All-Pro. But give me the guy that might win MVP versus, I guess, the best defense in the league. For the storyline, he goes in there and he shows why he's the MVP. And he throws for 2 touchdowns, completes 70% of his passes, and throws for his usual 250 to 275 yards. You know what is actually funny? And this might be like zero ball from me. Has Drake May thrown for 300 yards this season?
Yeah, because he just did.
I remember
he just beat those allegations, I believe.
It was the Ravens game when he threw 44 passes for 380. Yeah, I remember that. But I think that was his only one. I remember that was a big story throughout the season. Damn, I'm not going to lie. I remember watching this game. I do not fucking remember him throwing for almost 400. That's nuts.
Yeah. No, he was carving him up.
That's crazy. Damn.
He had that one interception to who did he throw that to? Was that
I want to say
that's a Hamilton?
I want to say it was to Humphrey. Yeah. I'm looking right now. Yeah, it was to Humphrey. I think that was the one. I think he was targeting Hunter Henry on that one. It was like I think it was in the red zone and he was like going towards the right side of the field. And I can't remember if it was like an underthrow or what it was, but I do remember it being Humphrey. And as I said, I just looked and yeah. But yeah, I'll go with the Patriots on that final game. Man, I'm just hoping that at least 2 of these are as good as what we got this first weekend. I mean, holy cow, what a opening week of playoff football. I mean, I really do believe that this is going to go down as one of the best seasons, if not the best that I've ever watched. And I think the parity really makes it that for me. I mean, you really just do not know who's going to win it all. I mean, out of these, we're both picking the Texans. Let's rank just a little fun exercise before we go on. I wish we would have did this before the playoffs started, and I regretted that as soon as that video came out. I wish we would have did like a percentage thing where we gave a percentage to which team we thought, like Seahawks 20%, Rams 15% type of thing. But let's say the Texans win, and we can include, just so we don't do that, we'll include the Steelers to this discussion. We'll give them a thing. But if you had to rank these, 9 teams? How would that 9 ranking look for you? Like as far as number 1, I think this team will win the Super Bowl versus the 9th team I think can win the Super Bowl. Would you go Seahawks 1?
Seahawks 1 for me. Mm-hmm. 2, who has the second best odds?
Mm-hmm. I think it's between 2. I think I agree with Seahawks, and I think the second one is between 2 teams for me.
And I want to say the Niners?
Nah.
I thought it sounded like you were going to say Niners. I don't know. It's tough. I'll say Patriots.
Even though you think the Texans can beat them?
You're poking holes in my shit right now.
I'm just because it's like,
Fuck.
I guess I'll give you mine to start out. I
Damn,
think I do
Patriots
give
would
the
make sense.
Seahawks. I think I give the Seahawks 1. I think my number 2 would be Bills because I think they are the best team in the AFC, and I would pick them over the Broncos and no matter who wins out of Steelers, Texans, Patriots. 3 would be Rams. 4 would be Patriots. 5 would be Broncos. 6 would be Texans. 7 would be Niners. No, I think I'd put... Fuck, I forgot the Bears. All right, let me do this again. Seahawks 1, Bills 2, Rams 3, Patriots 4, Broncos 5, Bears 6, Texans 7, 49ers 8, Steelers 9.
I think I was just looking at it in how was I? I was looking at it in the bracket we made, and I think I had the Patriots making it to the Super Bowl. Whichever way that was, they probably didn't play the Texans in that. I just think the Texans, match up really well. Also seeing more. Obviously, I made that bracket before this game, this Sunday night.
I think it probably looked different because didn't you say you picked the Jags to win? So that might have affected it. That might have affected the bracket where the Patriots.
The Jags.
Because that might have made the Patriots play like somebody different. You know what I mean? It might have.
That would mean the Patriots played the Jags. Yeah.
So then you probably picked Patriots and then maybe whoever they played next.
And then the Broncos played the Texans.
Okay, that makes sense then.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Patriots. I mean, I know they have a good line, a solid line, but man, they got tore up today. Yeah, and that just makes me rethink everything. Like the Texans, like if their defensive line were to go up against, that's why I think like if they were to get past the Texans and the Bills get past the Broncos, I think they match up pretty well against the Bills. But
oh yeah, I mean, 100%.
Because the Bills don't have that elite pass rush.
Did they not go 2-0 versus them in the regular season? Or am I tripping? I can check that.
I think they went 1-1.
Right, because the Bills had that crazy comeback.
Yeah.
Because the Bills or the Patriots were up 24-7 in the first half and blew it. That's crazy. I do remember that. As soon as I looked at that, I'm like, yeah. Because that was when they had like Ramondre had like 2 super big touchdowns. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But all right, before we get out of here, what would you say your ranking would be out of these 9 teams? You said Seahawks
won. That's all that matters. I'm joking. Seahawks. I guess I gotta go Bills. Seahawks, Bills. Seahawks, Bills. Seahawks, Bills. Fuck. Seahawks, Bills, Texans, Rams, Patriots, Niners. Wait, fuck. Bears are in there too. God, there's so many teams. Seahawks, Bills.
You said Texans.
Texans. Patriots, Rams.
That's 5. You got
Niners, Bears, Broncos.
And then Steelers would be 9 if they were to.
Fuck, I forgot about Steelers.
I mean, Steelers would be 9 for sure.
Steelers.
Yeah,
Steelers
because
10.
We're damn. Yeah, we're not even really. I mean, that would be nuts if they beat the Texans because like we are so confident that they won't. I mean, the Texans were your fucking 3rd team, so like if they don't beat them, that would
no
look
way
bad.
The Texans go into Heinz Field and beat the Steelers.
Oh my god, that would be.
There's a lot of Steelers fans out there, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just don't think they're that good of a team. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get the rap of like hating on a lot of teams, and it's gonna upset a lot of fans.
Fuck the Broncos, fuck the Steelers.
And I think we're getting the rap of an Eagles hater pretty heavily as well. But
I picked the Eagles to win.
Yeah, but I think that was more so out of hate. I guess we also throw the Niners because I think that was more so out of hate.
Fuck the Niners.
Niners. Like, it's so peak though. I love it because it's not like real hate. Like I don't really care, but like it's fun. It's fun.
No, I actually hate the Buccaneers.
No, I feel it. Which is weird because I don't have as much hate to like the Broncos, despite them being in my division. I just like when I look at things, I'm like, I got to look at it from a realistic standpoint. And obviously anything can happen, but I just can't have trust in a team like that. That's all it is, man. It's nothing personal. Trust me, you can hate on my Raiders all you want because I hate them more than you do. Trust me. But yeah, that'll be it for today's episode. An incredibly long one. I hope you guys all enjoyed. We're going to be back next weekend going over our divisional games. Looking forward to the championship and then on to the Super Bowl. And then we're on to the offseason where we're going to have a lot of videos. I mean, we're going over top 10s of every positions. We're going to be doing, drafts in the off seasons, going over free agency. Then we got the NFL draft coming up where Mendoza is going to be wearing the silver and black next year. I'm hyped. Amazing season, amazing off season on the way. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to leave a subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to rate us 5 stars, and we're out. Peace.